Oh, it is that time of year again, ladies and gentlemen. The first release of the AP poll just happened, and we are going to go over it. And I'm going to pretty much give overrated, underrated, depending on where they are in the standings and why. Before we get into that, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any college football, Formula One, and other things. Now, I will ask at the top of this before we dive into this. What would be your interest in me creating a podcast within the channel that isn't so much about sports and more about the news and whatnot? It'll be in the channel, but it will be like a different wing of the channel, if that makes any sense. So let me know what your thoughts on that below. But anyway, nonetheless, let's dive into this, shall we? So, what many articles are saying, I don't know, I haven't gone through and checked, but I'll take their word for it. Texas, the number one team in America, according to the Associated Press. For the first time ever, the Texas Longhorns are the number one team coming into the season. So, I do have them. Well, you can't really be underrated if you're number one, but but I do have them overrated, but slightly overrated. I would actually have them fourth. I would have them fourth behind Penn State and LSU. I don't let the cat out of the bag with those two, but, or in Clemson. Clemson and LSU. Penn State, Clemson, LSU. So, I mean, they're going to be good this year. No question about it. They're going to be favorites in the SEC. They have a really good team. Arch Manning is probably going to be everything the Longhorns have ever dreamed of and more. And they could very well be in that dance. They could very well be in that final dance. I don't even know where the national championship game is this year, but they could very well be in that final dance in the national championship and have a real good shot of winning it. So, excuse me. When I say overrated, not so much a knock, it's just I don't think at this current stage they are the number one team in the country. And of course, very divided, as you can see. 25 number one votes to Penn State 23, Ohio State with 11. So, very, very close race at the top. Penn State, as you might have guessed, I have them slightly underrated. They have really good coaching staff. They have the best quarterback in the country coming back in Drew Aller. Have a really good defense. They got Jim Knowles. They were able to poach Jim Knowles from Ohio State. This team, this is the team that is all or nothing. This is the Michigan team from a couple years ago. The 2023-2024 season. It's all or nothing. If it's not going to happen now, it's never going to happen. They have everything they need to win a national title. Can James Franklin get over that hump? That is going to be the $100 billion question. And if he doesn't do it this year, it's never going to happen. I hate to be the one to break the news to the Nittany Lions. If it's not happening this year, it's never going to happen. Ohio State, number 3. I have them overrated. Not as much as some others coming up. But I do have Ohio State overrated. They have a new quarterback coming in, a first-time offensive coordinator. Uh, Matt Patricia, I believe this is his first college coaching job, at least in a very long time. We'll see if he's going to be able to at least dumb down his defensive schemes enough to where college kids can pick up on it. Again, Ohio State, when it comes to crunch time, they're going to be there. They're going to be around. They're going to be in the dance. Without a doubt, they are. I do believe they will be the Big Ten champs. But as far as the preseason poll goes, I have Ohio State slightly overrated. Clemson, underrated. Underrated. I have them at number 2. I think this Clemson team is a throwback national championship style Clemson team, unlike what we've seen over the last number of years. This team is good. Cade Klubnik, a host of good receivers. The lines seem to be back. Defense never really left. Clemson, they're good. They're good. They got a lot of people coming back. They got key people coming back. So that's where I have the Tigers of Clemson. Slightly underrated. Georgia, the Dogs. My team. My Dogs. I have them overrated. And I would venture to say very overrated. The offensive line and defensive line, they have been very questionable the last couple of years. They haven't had that physicality. Their running game was non-existent. Carson Beck struggled halfway through the year. Was able to bounce out of it until he got hurt. With everything that we've seen ending off in last season, I can't put them at 5. Especially can't put them at 1. I don't know who in their right mind would say Georgia's the number 1 team in the country in the AP. I mean, I would expect that out of the coaches poll because there's some bias in there, but as far as the AP, that's insane. Absolutely insane. I would actually have Georgia in the... I think I had them in like the 7 to 12 range, maybe even lower. Not lower than 12, but the lower half of that. Like hovering around the top 10. Or hovering around 10th. But, yeah, grossly overrated. They're switching defenses this year. Mike Bobo, the offensive coordinator, very overrated. Not very good. So, we'll have to see how all that shakes out. Notre Dame at number 6. Slightly overrated. A lot of new pieces coming around. We'll see if Notre Dame is one of those that, if Notre Dame has been able to evolve from rebuilding to reloading. We'll find out this year. A lot of positive things coming out of camp about the quarterback, but we'll have to see how it all goes. But as for the preseason poll, I would say slightly overrated. Then Oregon, who got one number 1 vote. They're sitting at 7th. I gotta say overrated. I like Oregon. I like what Dan Lanning's doing. I like Dante Moore. I like what's all there, but new quarterback, yeah. Especially given where they are conference wise. I think they're slightly overrated, but I do think that they will undoubtedly be in the grand dance later in the year. Alabama. Criminally overrated. Yeah, they had a good recruiting class coming in, but the problem is their quarterback, Ty Simpson, did not have a good showing last time we saw you. You are only as good as when we last saw you. And given that, very, very, yeah. And that whole Nick Saban intimidation era, that door's closing. So, and Kalen DeBoer has to jump on it right now this year. He has got to make sure he makes that right decision at quarterback. Whether Ty Simpson is, we don't know. But we will certainly find out when they play Florida State week 1. We'll see. LSU, as you might have already guessed, I have them being very underrated. Quarterback coming back, Brian Kelly, good coach, awkward dude, but good coach. Got a lot of pieces coming back. This and we're gonna find out how hot that seat is that Brian Kelly is in. People weren't happy with how last year ended. Didn't accomplish anything that they wanted to. Garrett Nussmeier, he's got to be he's got to be that Heisman hopeful that everybody expects him to be. Has to be it. No question. But LSU, I got very underrated. I think they're going to be good. And whether they make the dance or not, I don't know. That's going to be borderline. Arizona State. A lot of hype around the Sun Devils. Got a returning quarterback. I think it's Dillingham, the coach at ASU. He's done a tremendous job getting the ship righted. I'm actually fairly neutral with them. If anything, slightly over, but I mean they're well within the ballpark. I mean, very interested to see what Arizona State does throughout this year because there's a lot of hype around them, and the Big 12 is a very underrated conference. Illinois, number 12. Again, I completely skipped Miami. Holy cow. I got so excited about Arizona State. Party school. The fun party school. Miami's just like Miami. But anyway, okay, so Miami. We skipped Miami. Yeah, I got them criminally overrated. Like felony style overrated. Number 10 is an absolute joke. I don't trust anything Miami does. Miami is not back. They're not back to the 2000s and 90s. The convict era. Of the U. They are not the U version. But yeah, the Canes. Criminally overrated. Mario Cristobal, we'll see. Carson Beck, the big name transfer from Georgia. I tell you what, to have a big part of quarterbacking is decision making. And if the rumors around Carson Beck and the Cavender twin, I don't remember which one they look alike. Leave me alone. If that whole deal is true, which a lot of people are saying it is, I don't know. I haven't looked into it too deeply. But if it is true that Carson Beck went down to Miami, cheated on the Cavender win, then that leads to me to believe very, very bad decision making. Very bad. And at quarterback, that concerns me. If he was a wide receiver, if he was an offensive lineman, at defense, someone on defense, running back, yeah, whatever. Quarterback, that's troubling, especially given how the middle of the season went for him last year at Georgia. Very concerning. Miami, criminally, feloniously overrated. So now that we have already done Arizona State, Illinois, little underrated. Little underrated. They got a lot of returners back. Brett Bielema, great coach. People are going to start believing. I got that big upset coming in Champaign over the Buckeyes. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. Illinois. Criminal. I don't know. I got to quit saying criminally. Pretty underrated. Pretty underrated. So, South Carolina. Underrated. Lenora Sellers. Generational. He is a freak athlete, freak player, good quarterback. We are going to see Lenora Sellers shine this year. Criminally underrated South Carolina. Michigan, number 14. There is so much hype around a true freshman quarterback. It's so weird that every time Michigan gets this like star stud player, you saw it with Jabril Peppers. Now you're seeing it with Underwood. Like, there is so much unbelievable hype around him that people buy into. They catapult Michigan up the rankings until they get disappointed. And I think Michigan has a good team. I think the wide receiver area is a little bit questionable. What's Michigan going to do without Colston Loveland? A lot of questions in certain areas for Michigan. I got to say, overrated. And look back at my Big Ten video, I have them sitting at 6-6. And in their big game, week 2 at Oklahoma in Norman, I have Oklahoma mopping the floor with Michigan. And then number 15, Florida. A lot of hype, a lot of promise in this team. I'm gonna say underrated, but I'm very, very cautious because if DJ Lagway gets hurt, it all comes undone. This is, if I were to compare Florida to a national championship team, I would say Auburn in 2010 with Cam Newton. If Cam Newton went down, the whole thing would come down, as it did the next couple of years. It's going to be coming. It will absolutely fall all the way down if DJ Lagway gets hurt. This team is going to ride or die by DJ Lagway. So, I'm going to say underrated, but very, very cautiously. SMU, Lashley. Great coach. I'm gonna say slightly underrated. I believe the quarterback's coming back. Solid little playoff team. Choked out the ACC championship, allowing Clemson in, knocking Bama out. So that was actually pretty funny, and I enjoyed that. But anyway, yeah, I mean SMU. We'll see if they can sustain the success and see if the Pony Express continues on. Kansas State. Yeah. I'm going to go. You see, there's just not much that I am quite familiar with Kansas State. So I'm going to go neutral. I'm going to go keep them right about there. We'll say overrated. We'll say underrated because I got a lot of overrateds on here. I do trust what's going on at K-State. They have a good program that they have been trying to rebuild and have, in my estimation, successfully done it. Oklahoma, number 18. Drastically underrated. This team's good. This team is good. This is an SEC I think this team can win the SEC. And I think I do have them winning the SEC. John Mateer is going to be a name that you're going to see in New York and the Heisman finalists. You got Matt Arbuckle coming in as offensive coordinator. Will Venables coaching for his job. This team, I think they really like their coach. You can see it in the way that they play. They were able to beat Alabama, destroy Alabama late in the year. Last year, things are getting right in Norman, and it's going to be on full display. Texas A&M at 19. Yeah, I'm going to go slightly overrated. I'm going to go overrated. I don't trust anything that comes out of College Station. Nothing. Absolutely freaking nothing. They made the horrendous mistake of getting rid of Kevin Sumlin for Jimbo Fisher. And now they're on Mike Elko, who has had one good season with Riley Leonard at Duke. And now he could very well be well over his head at this type of job, trying to rebuild a program, and you're lined up against your in-state SEC foe, Texas. That rivalry is now back, thankfully. But there are certainly questions around it, and I'm going to say overrated. I don't think they should. Being in the top 25, I think, is a bit of a stretch. Indiana. Overrated. A lot of turnover. Getty, great coach. He's going to get this team right. But as for preseason, I think this is solely based on Getty and what he was able to accomplish last year. And he could very well flip it and do it again this year. But I'm going slightly overrated. Ole Miss. 21. Slightly overrated. I trust Lane Kiffin, but losing a player like Jackson Dart is not somebody you can replace overnight. So we'll see what all happens. Iowa State, I'm going to say underrated. I really like the coach, Matt. I think it's Campbell. Great coach. Great program. Shocked the world last year. And being in the running for the Big 12. I think we're going to see pretty much the same as that this time around as well. They're going to be in it. They're going to be in a fight. Big 12, very good conference. So I'm going to say slightly underrated, and I'm going to say the same thing for Texas Tech. Texas Tech has gone all in on the transfer portal. This is their year to do it. They're going all in. They could very well be in that Big 12 championship game. We'll see what all happens, how it all shakes out, but it will be it's going to be one hell of a season, the Big 12. The more and more that I look into these guys and how deep this conference really is. I mean, Big 12 is always the deep conference. Tennessee, number 24. I'm going to say Tennessee is so interesting because when you see how good they did last year, they made the playoffs. They had Nico, who didn't quite perform as well as you would expect. You had Dylan Sampson. I can't remember off the top of my head if he's back. But it makes you wonder how much, given what we know about Nico and him wanting to be paid more, I wonder if that actually affected the locker room in a negative light, and Tennessee was able to make the playoffs despite that. So I really don't know what to make of Tennessee. I'm going to say underrated on that alone. I like Pruitt. He's a great coach. So I'm going to say slightly underrated. And then Boise State. Honestly, I don't have a damn clue about Boise State. I like the blue. I like the blue turf. I'm going to say slightly overrated. I'm looking at the other receiving votes, and there is a team here. There's a couple teams here that are ridiculous, that are quite underrated, including that one, Georgia Tech. Look out for the Yellow Jackets. How this team got left off the top 25 is far beyond me. They're my snub. They're my snub of the preseason. Little Georgia Tech. And then my most overrated team, I'm gonna go. I'm kind of debating between the U of M's. Because here's the thing, I like the coach with Miami. I like Mario Cristobal. I don't like the quarterback. Michigan, the exact opposite. I'm not sure about the coach. I love the quarterback. I do like the coaching staff at Michigan, especially on the defensive side. Miami, question marks all around. But you can fix the quarterback situation overnight. The coaching, you cannot. So, for that reason and that reason alone, I am going Michigan as the most overrated in the top 25 college football preseason ranking. So, going over, under, over, under, over, over, under, over. I think I said under, over, under, way under, over, under, over. And screw it, we'll do the other receiving votes. BYU, over. Utah, under. Baylor, under. Louisville, under. I like the coach at Louisville. USC, over. Georgia Tech, obviously under. Missouri, I think under. Tulane, under. Nebraska, way under. UNLV, yeah, I couldn't tell you the rest for sure. But so, all right, that is your college football top 25 preseason ranking, AP ranking review, over under, and yeah. So make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts below on the whole having like a separate little podcast on the side of this channel, or like true crime, politics, stuff like that. Kind of like the news section. Let me know on that. And then let me know who is your most overrated, least underrated, or most overrated, most underrated. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. We'll see you in the next one. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz. Later.